So one of the great injustices in college football, in my opinion, is how people perceive bowl games. Because when I was growing up, bowl games were something I looked forward to all year long, and now it appears they're a little bit of an afterthought. But they're not an afterthought to these coaches or the players that play in them. And today, we need to talk about a team that looks to make a major statement in this bowl game and why a win would be a big-time statement. And of course, today, we're talking about Oklahoma taking on Arizona in the Alamo Bowl. Before we can jump into all of this, y'all know the drill. I've got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes, N for no. Do you believe the Oklahoma Sooners will make a statement against Arizona? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below, as those interactions seem small. They are massive to content creators such as myself. But having said all that, let's jump into this. And first and foremost, this is a game that I am really looking forward to. Arizona was a really solid team this year. Shout out to Jay of Unfair Sports, because on our Bleacher Report stream, he was one of the first people to really zone in on Arizona. He was the first person to zone in on Arizona and say, hey, this is a team really improving, and he was 100% right. The Wildcats had a fantastic season, and the fans of Arizona need to be really excited as to how their team did this year and be over the moon about this bowl game appearance, because I cannot wait. Whenever we look at Arizona, there's a lot of talent on this team, and they have played a lot of big-time football games this year, as the pack was better than we've seen it in recent memory. So for Oklahoma, you're getting a good team in this bowl game. You're getting a team that's played some big-time games this year, and they've played them well. And when we look at the Oklahoma Sooners, there's a few new pieces. First and foremost, your offensive coordinator, as Jeff Lebby goes from the Oklahoma Sooners to Mississippi State. Secondly, you talk about the quarterback position. Dillon Gabriel no longer with the Sooners as he transfers from Oklahoma to Oregon. Jackson Arnold steps up. Now, this is a quarterback Oklahoma fans have been over the moon about, very excited to see really take over the reins of this offense. And it's hard to disagree with them. Listen, I was a big Dillon Gabriel fan. I didn't hide that fact. I was excited when he transferred to Oklahoma because I thought that they had found a really good quarterback, especially for everything that was going wrong. You found a veteran guy, an experienced guy that had worked with your offensive coordinator. What a way to steer the ship in a positive direction through all the chaos, and that's exactly what it did. But fast forward to now, Jackson Arnold is the future. And I don't think there's any denying that. His talent is really intriguing. He won Elite 11 MVP, and he played football a hop, skip, and a jump from where I usually record in my studio in Denton. So I'm familiar with his game, and I know how gifted of a quarterback he is. But that's not all that's new. When we look at this offensive line for Oklahoma, that is where my questions lie, and certainly not in coaching. Let's get this understood. I don't question Bill Bedenbaugh. I think Bill Bedenbaugh is one of the most solid coaches or assistant coaches in the nation, certainly one of the best offensive line coaches in all of college football. Look at his development track, look at the guys he's sent to the NFL, and look at their NFL contracts and tell me I'm wrong. That guy has been automatic for the Oklahoma Sooners, but there's a lot of new on this offensive line. And it's not a full offseason that he gets to prep for it. It's a month. And yes, Bill Bedenbaugh is great, but I'm really excited to see what this Oklahoma offensive line looks like with all the new faces. They're not going to have some of the transfer portal acquisitions that they've gotten on the offensive line, but they will have some of the young pieces. They're excited to get play, especially with the transition and move coming from the Big 12 to the SEC. Getting some of these young offensive linemen the experience in this game, that's huge, and that could be huge as you move into the offseason and into next year. So for Oklahoma's offense, yes, there's still a lot that's the same. We look at the running back talent, we look at the wide receiver talent, but in some key positions, there's new. Offensive coordinator, quarterback, offensive line. That provides the ability to make a statement. That provides the ability to make a strong showing. And I have no doubt that Seth Luttrell wants nothing more than to have a strong showing in his debut as the Oklahoma Sooners offensive coordinator, especially with a guy like Jackson Arnold taking the reins and the talent he has. So this is what I mean when I say Oklahoma has the ability to make a strong showing, make a statement in this game by showing up, playing Oklahoma Sooners football against a good team, a team that I've had a lot of faith in this year. Once Jay really told me, hey, Ty, break down Arizona, go look at them, you're going to be impressed. He was 100% right. Shout out to Jay. They are a really fun team to watch, and they're a really exciting team. Oklahoma does not draw an easy opponent, but I find that to be better for the Sooners. Then we look at the defense, and luckily for Oklahoma's defense, you had some major early Christmas gifts come your way in the form of Billy Bowman staying and Danny Stutzman staying, and I don't think there's any understating how valuable that is for this Oklahoma defense, especially in this bowl game, but even fast forwarding to the transition to the SEC, and we've had this conversation before, that was a massive win. But for Oklahoma, defensively, you're going to have to be disciplined. You're going to have to stay sound in your assignment and put the heat on this Arizona quarterback, a quarterback that has been really good for the Wildcats, but you need to make him uncomfortable. You need to make Fafita doubt everything he's seen, change things, and create havoc. Luckily, Brent Venables has been known to do just that. So there's a lot of new for Oklahoma, but the good thing that comes when you have so much new, as the Sooners do, you have the ability to make a statement. And sometimes wins are wins, losses are losses. Other times, wins are statements, and losses can be statements as well. The Oklahoma Sooners look to go out there and make a winning statement as they make this transition. And what better way to do that against a quality opponent in a bowl game? I personally cannot wait, but I can't wait to hear from all of you. I know this wasn't a long, in-depth breakdown, but forgive me, I am traveling. I haven't had the opportunity to put something together like that, and I didn't want to just sit here and start talking about things without having watched enough of the film before we put this video together. But at the end of the day, there are going to be some key players for Oklahoma, and let's discuss that. First and foremost, how Oklahoma can get this running game going. Yes, you have a new offensive line, you've got a new quarterback, but you've got some experienced running backs, and if this offensive line can allow the running game to get going, remember, we talk about this all the time, if you're a new offensive lineman, typically and in theory, it's easier to run block than pass block, because in pass blocking, you're catching somebody coming off the line. Run blocking, you're initiating the contact, you're going. If you can get the running game going, that'll be big for Jackson Arnold. And lest we forget, Jackson Arnold is a mobile quarterback himself. So the running game is something I find to be really important for Oklahoma, especially in this game with all of the new. It can help settle Jackson Arnold in. We talk about this all the time. You got a new offensive coordinator, got a new quarterback, great tight end play and great running back play can be that new offensive coordinator and quarterback's best friend. On the defensive side, I'm looking at Danny Stutzman and I'm looking at Billy Bowman to make their presence known and show OU fans exactly why them coming back is such a big deal. And especially when we look at this Arizona offense, Danny Stutzman is going to have a lot asked of him, but so too will Billy Bowman. They've got a wide receiver out there that is a big body wide receiver that has been hyper productive, and they are going to look to get him involved. And that's where Billy Bowman in the secondary are going to come in. At the end of the day, I think this is a fantastic opportunity for Oklahoma to go out there, play a quality opponent, get guys that haven't had experience before you head to the SEC. And more than anything, it gives you the chance to make a statement. And personally, I love nothing more than making a statement. Hop down to the comments, let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.